Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Hey everyone, welcome to Creator to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
I am known as the Wealthy Guy, but my name is Robert Pauley III.
Welcome to the show. I mean, you look great. I mean, you brought it. You look amazing.
Thank you.
So tell us from the beginning. I know what you do, and have you always been like? Would you say even growing up, you've always been like a confident person, and you carry yourself?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Oh man, I think it just comes from me in my personality. I'm a Scorpio, so I kind of have like a domineering personality and think that things should be a certain way and stuff like that. But I've always been confident since I was a kid, and I've always been the type of person to go after like what I want.
That's awesome. See, I mean, I can only imagine you growing up and like, were you like putting people outfits together? Like, this looks good. Style your friends.
It's funny because, when I was younger, I knew how to dress myself, right? People were like, oh, well, help me with the outfit. I'm like, that's a lot of work. Like, I know it looks good on me.
Yeah.
But the older I got, I started to pay more attention to people and their style and body types, right? Because all clothes aren't good for all people. And thinking about what looks good on, different body types.
Right. That's so true. Absolutely. Because you're right. You see those people like wearing that you should not ever walk out the house with that on. So it is like a confidence thing. And so for I'm just curious, you love helping people feel confident in their wear and style. Yeah. So how did you get into, where did you begin? Like, how does that even happen?
Yeah, crazy journey. Well, I've always been into clothes. I've always been into suits since I was a kid, right? Like when my grandmother would like take us to church, of course, the suit was much baggier. I didn't like going to church, but I liked wearing the suit. And even as a teenager, I enjoyed, dressing up. I was involved in a lot of like activities in school where I had to dress up. And it was just something that I knew that I would do. Like I would watch movies, based on Wall Street or Rich Family, something like that. I would just say, man, I want that to be me. I want to, be walking down the street with my suit, with my face, going on the elevator to my corner office. And before I started this, I actually worked in finance for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I worked for 2 major banks, did a lot of different jobs, everything from sales to sales strategy to project management to business management. to business process reengineering.
Wow.
Lived in Hong Kong for 3 years doing Asian sales strategy. And then I came back to the US, and then I went to a new firm, and then I got like a consultant job, and I traveled for almost 3 years straight.
Wow.
And, you know, within the US as well as like internationally. And I kind of got to a point where I was just like, no one will ever know that I'm here doing these reports and these presentations, making all these other people money. You know, I was like, what is my legacy? And I was just kind of like, I don't think this is it. And for a long time I did, right? Because, you know, Black people, you get a good job, right? Like at a bank or something, oh, you making good money. Like, you know, it's like, it's almost like you're set. But as we know, a lot of times those environments aren't great for us.
That's true.
Yeah. And the way that the business came about was that I had a picture of a coat in my head for probably 2 years, right? A beautiful cashmere wool coat with a luxurious looking fur collar that just kind of blew in the wind. And I searched and searched, and every place I saw, it just wasn't quite right? It was either some high-end retailer that was like $5,000 for what I was looking for, or it was like fast fashion, like with some like faux fur. And I was like, none of this is quite right. And one day after work, I was on Fifth Avenue in New York, and they have like these fur liquidation sales. And I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and see if they have the coat. And the salesperson was like, we don't have that, but why don't you just try to like make one yourself? And I'm like, what do you mean? I just want to buy it. Like, what do you mean? You know? And so he gave me some information, and when I got home, I was like, you know what? Let me actually try it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had an existing coat, and I went down to the fur district, and I had them put a fur on it, and I started wearing it. Then I did like maybe 2 more coats and started wearing them. And then on the subway and on the street, people started stopping me, asking me, what's the brand? You know, like, where'd the coat come from? And I was like, oh, I just kind of put this together with a and then the first person to like pay me to do one for them was a friend. And he was like, I love that coat. Like, where'd you get it from? I was like, oh, I put it together myself. He's like, could you do one for me? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, well, how much? And I was like, $500. I pretty soon realized $500 was too low for the product.
Yeah.
And, so I did it for him. And then it just kind of, from there, more and more people started asking me to do it. And then I was like, okay, I have to, I know how I want it to look on people. And off the rack coat is not how I want it, because everyone's body shape is different. So I was like, it has to be custom, and the fur has to be premium and high end. And, you know, so then that's when I got into, you know, doing the coats custom for people. And from there, it just kind of like took off. And I was like, okay, how can I stand out from the crowd? All of these guys, you know, with their suits on, taking it in the street, and, you know, all that stuff. And I was like, I have to change the way that I look. And so I bleached my beard blonde. So when I did that, it really changed everything, because first you like, who is this guy? He doesn't look old, but then he has kind of like this white beard. Like, what's going on here?
Mysterious.
Like, it drew people in. And then once I got their attention, then I kind of let my personality like do the rest. Right. So one thing that I realized with social media is that people go to social media for entertainment. They go for motivation and inspiration, and they go for education. You can hit on all of these things, boom, you're gonna get that following. And that's what I did. Like in my finance career, a lot of what I did was presenting and
Nice.
teaching and educating people on different things. So it's a natural skill that I have, talking in front of groups of people, but now I just do it in front of a camera, you know?
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
I was like, let me educate people on style and suiting and skincare and all of these things. And the following just kind of, it went from 3,000 to now it's almost 54,000, almost 55,000 now.
That's amazing.
Like, whoa, I would have never thought in a million years that I would be working from my home, right? And talking to people on Instagram saying, come shop with me. Like, come on now. You trying to look fly, like come get with me. And yeah, it's just been such a rewarding thing because to circle back to kind of like the beginning and the confidence.
Yeah.
When I see these guys, you know, get their suit or get their coat, the posture changes.
Right.
And they're looking like, oh, listen, I'm about to mess them up on the street. Like, okay. And every time I see it, it's a beautiful thing because it's something that I experience as well when I put on the clothes. And I learned that men have as many insecurities as women. Right? Guys always try to act like, oh, you know, I'm so tough. But kind of they struggle with the same things that women struggle with in terms of body type and things like that. And so to help people be able to like really feel confident in the what they have on and the way it looks on them is a reward.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reward for sure.
I was wondering, has there been any challenges along the way? I'm sure there's always challenges. Has there been like any challenges where like, whether it's like a suit that, you know, or maybe a design that someone wants, and you're just like, I don't quite know, or I don't know. How do you work around that?
So I'm a very process oriented person.
Yeah.
Right. I always kind of look at things from steps and are they repeatable? Mm-hmm. Right. So if someone comes to me and they're like, I want a suit, but I want it to have a train, and then I want the shoulder to, you know, have rhinestones coming down, I immediately tell them that's not me.
Right.
Like what you see from me on the Instagram is what I do.
Right.
If you like that, then come see me. Right. Like, yes, it's custom, but it's not designed from scratch, if that makes sense. Right. So I'm like, I'm not the type of person to be like, yeah, I'll take the job, right, and figure it out later, because in my experience, it rarely turns out good, right? And now this person has paid you this money with the expectation that they're gonna get, you know, the rhinestones down here and the train in the back, and it don't quite look like how they envisioned it. So I stick to what I know. Okay, right? Like, do you want pockets with flaps or do you want them to be welted? Right? Like, it's more so that versus, you know, all of this extra stuff. And for me, like, I pretty much run the business on my own.
That's amazing. Wow.
I have to have repeatable, I have to have processes in place, to ensure that the end result is what I'm telling people that they're going to get from me.
Absolutely. Because I'm sure like that makes a lot of sense. Like especially when your business is growing, you want to always be able to have like, you know, moving and stuff. Because like the way you move, it looks like you have like an entire crew, which is incredible. I'm like, oh, you do that all your own?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. So when I first started the business, I bought a camera. Right?
Yeah.
When I spent $2,500 on this camera, I'm like, okay, this is for, you know, for me to be able to photograph like the coats and this and the other. But I soon realized that the camera is a tool to make money.
Right.
Right. So I took a $30 photography class on Groupon. where they
Nice.
teach you like camera basics. So I took the class, and I even paid for 2 more classes that I never redeemed. But after that first class, I was like, oh, let me just take this, go out and practice, you know, get my friends and family, and, you know, just start taking pictures of people. And 3 months after I took the class, I actually got a job at the school teaching photography.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. You know, and I had just picked up a camera probably 3 or 4 months before that. And,
I gotta hang out with you.
I know how to teach, you know? So I took the class, and of course it made me better. So then that was another way for me to help finance my main business.
Right.
So, you know, I started doing headshots and portraits and fashion photography. And I'm like, okay, these are the things that I'm good at. Let me continue to do these things. And then even like with the pictures for myself, a lot of the pictures that you see of me are by me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so, you know, that skill has been invaluable for what I do.
Right.
Because now I don't have to find a photographer and go by their schedule and figure it out with my schedule. I could just come in my living room, set up everything, and boom, boom, boom.
Get it done.
My content.
I love that. No excuse.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Yeah, so I do a lot of, it's only, I would say like within the last few months where I've really started to outsource things more, because I'm like growing the business. Yeah. And I can't do everything.
Right.
So yeah, like that is probably one of the biggest challenges of entrepreneurship, right? When you take your baby and it's like, oh, well, I don't want to, they're not going to do it like I do it. But right. Some things you just got to let go and focus on the bigger things, right?
Yeah.
It's growing the business in selling versus like the everyday tasks. So you know, so that is, you know, a growth thing for me. Being able to like, well, also too, being able to pay other people to do things with you.
Right? Oh my God.
Yeah, so now I'm like, wow, like, you know, I'm able to outsource a lot of the things that I was doing myself before so that I can focus on the bigger picture things.
I love that. What's the main thing you want your customers to walk away with? Like once they get a suit from you or they get something from you, what is it that you want them to walk away feeling? What is that?
I want them to walk away feeling like they're the man, like feeling good in the skin that they're in, right? A lot of people are like, oh, do you make, you know, big and tall, or you make stuff like that? I'm like, it's custom. It's for anybody. Yeah. You know, and people always like, oh, I'm gonna come see you when I lose a few pounds. And I'm like, no. That's totally the wrong way to think about it. Like, you're in control, not the clothes. You don't change your body for clothes. You change the clothes for your body.
That's
it. So that is the main thing. I want people to walk away feeling more confident in themselves, in their own skin and in their own body, where they are right now in their life. That is, to me, is an invaluable thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Question, did you always have, you know, I saw some of your designs and stuff on your website. I saw that there's women, you also have women's stuff as well. Was that something that you also that you kept in mind when you started your business?
No. So like I said, I stick to what I know, right? Like, and I know men's clothes. But since I started the business, women have been on me. Listen, hey,
yeah, I bet.
This stuff for us. We need, you know, like, we like this stuff too. Like, come on now. When are you coming with the women's stuff? So last year I was like, okay, let me try a few women's, you know, coats. And I did like a few like fur, like headbands. And all the women that was saying, when you gonna make women's stuff? I'm like, here's the women's stuff. Now they quiet. Now they quiet. you know? So I'm just like, y'all ladies, y'all play too much. Y'all don't know what y'all want. So I'm gonna stick to the men. Do women come to me? Yes. But it's a primarily menswear business.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Is there anybody like a fashion person like that when you look at something in like a fashion, maybe not an icon, but someone that you like to emulate the style, like, and put your own spin to, like, oh, that's good. I like that. Like I
have a degree in history. I love everything historical. I love everything from the past.
Yeah.
So a lot of my style is inspired by the 30s, the 40s,
ooh,
the 50s,
yeah,
but more modern silhouettes.
right.
So I'm into Peaky Blinders and in all of these shows where, from that time where people dressed in suits it was everybody dressed in a suit. And just the lapels and the layering and just all of that stuff. So a lot of what I do is inspired by those times. Yeah, but just with a more modern silhouette. It's been a blessing, I would say, to leave that good job with them good benefits and everything.
Oh yeah.
And to just kind of like work from my home and be able to have people pretty much all over the world buy from me. The first time that someone bought from me internationally was a doctor in Saudi Arabia.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's wow.
Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Mexico, the UK.
Nice.
So I'm just like, wow, like these people just see me on Instagram and it's like, I love you, I trust you, right? Because it's really building that trust to put this money in this, and this ain't $20, $30. I buy a lot of $20, $30 stuff that I see on Instagram and Facebook. But I might think twice about something that's $1,500.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to have people spend that kind of money and like with me without ever even meeting me in person, it's like, wow, that's really, really cool.
Yeah. No, you're doing it, and that's and it's how you know that you're in, like, what do you call it? You're calling that thing. Like, this is your purpose, because it just works out, What advice would you give to someone that wants to maybe get into what you're doing, or just what advice would you give them?
The first piece of advice I would give them is to start. To start, because a lot of times we like, I need this and I need that before I can do anything. This has to be right. That has to be right. And what I tell people, like my mentees, I always say, done is better than perfect. Right? Nothing is going to be perfect. If you spend so much time trying to make something perfect out the gate, you won't ever get it out.
That's so true.
Like the perfection of it comes from the feedback of customers and you just kind of retooling the process and all of that stuff. That's when things get better with experience. Right? So if you have something new and you just like, it has to be right. It has to be right. No, like put it out there. Now, don't put something crazy looking out there. But if it's at a good enough point for you to put it out. Like before this, did I know about custom suiting? Yes, I lived in Hong Kong for 3 years, right? I really learned about bespoke suiting and how it's made and how it should fit and all of that stuff. But in terms of doing it as a business, I had no clue.
Yeah.
No clue. So everything that I've done, I've had to learn on my own. And the other piece of advice I would give people is educate yourself. Yeah. Right? Like most of the time that I spend is on education. Right? Yeah. I have to know what I'm talking about, and in the education, you can't skip that step of it. And people are like, oh, wow, you started your business 3.5 years ago. It's come so far. And I'm like, yes, but I still have a long way to go.
Got it. Yeah.
I'm not necessarily in a rush to get there.
Mm.
The beauty of it is going to come with that experience and that time where I really, really know like what I'm doing and really be able to give that customer, you know, like the experience that they are, you know, expecting from me.
I love that. I love that. Do you have anything in the works that you're coming out with soon, or?
Oh, listen, I do. So, you know, I'm all about the wealthy lifestyle. And the wealthy lifestyle doesn't necessarily mean rich money. Wealthy lifestyle is more so about you and how you feel. I feel like, you know, like I feel good about myself, right? Like, cause it starts inside first, right? So I'm always telling people, if you're not, especially when it comes to the way you look, if you don't feel good inside, it shows here, right?
Yeah.
My next big thing as a part of wealthy lifestyle is wealthy skin. Right? So people are always like, your skin looks so great. You know,
yeah.
Yeah, you skin, and it's something that I've always done. And I was like, it's a natural thing to incorporate into what I'm doing.
Yeah.
As far as teaching men about skincare and beard care and all of those things, but coupling it with feeling good inside as well, right?
Yeah.
So my next big thing that I'm coming out with is the wealthy skin. So
congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm like, wow, I can't believe I have my own skincare products with my label on them. You know, what my label on them.
Love that.
Yeah, so right now I'm just in the process of kind of just sorting out all the logistics.
Right.
I have like the products, like the packaging, everything is like ready to go. So I'm just like stocking up on like the inventory and all that. And then once I get that sorted, you know you're gonna see me on the Instagram. Hey. talking my stuff, you know. Yeah. So even with me changing my beard back to black is you know, it's an evolution, and it's also like walk it like you talk it, right? Because I'm like, okay, I've been bleaching my beard for almost 2 years. I can't be telling people about healthy skin and I'm putting chemicals on my face.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, that has to go. And I was just ready for a change anyway, because people just, the number one question I would get is like, how old are you? Like, oh, you know, you're a silver fox. Oh, you know, the beard, I loved it, but it did make me look much older than I really am. Like when I cut it off, people were like, whoa, like look like a young person. I'm like, yeah, because I'm not that, I'm you know, like I'm not this old person that you associate with this, like, you know, like
mature look or something.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, okay, it has to go. It's time for the naturalness.
I love it.
Juice and bury it up to make it look.
I love it. Where can people find you on social media, like for the people that are listening?
Yes. So on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, at The WELTHY Guy. So TheWELTHEGUY. Yes. So The WELTHY Guy across everything.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Well, guys, check him out. And thank you so much for coming on. This was a pleasure. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's another episode. Until next time, remember to live, love, laugh. Bye.